Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Coding Techniques. In this episode, we are going to learn about how to create a home screen of our car selling application. So there are some interesting stuff which you're going to see in this particular episode. Make sure you hit the like button to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet and keep exploring our channel. Also, if you haven't checked our website yet, go and check that out. There are a lot of content that are available. And not only that, there are a lot of courses that are available. You can check that out. Whatever you want to learn, you can go for it. With that being said, let's get started. So this is the design which you're going to build. This is our home screen. This is the first part and this is the continuation part of this particular screen that we are going to build. Now, first of all, let's understand what exactly we need to do to achieve this kind of a result. Alright, because that is very much important. Now you can see here, we have some toolbar icons which we can directly build up, but there is a twist in that we have to make it circular, right? There is a border here which we have to build it up and nothing for the title or something. So no title, nothing is present here. How are we going to build it? Well, that's pretty simple. I'm going to show you up and you're going to understand. With the help of Ion toolbar, we are going to achieve all of it. Okay, this is static. It's not going to move. So we can directly put it into the header part. Now the next thing which we have to focus on is the search bar. Now this is not the search bar which we normally see. It is something different. It is customized search bar where we have a button and everything working as expected according to the button. Means you type anything, you click on the button and then only it's going to work. That's how it is being built. And there is a slight border here also which we have to design just to give the look and feel of a customized search bar which looks quite awesome according to me. Then comes the main part. Look at this. These are horizontal scrolling part. So all the list is horizontally scrolling it up. But before jumping to that, we have a header part and a button here. This is also we are going to prepare, but look at the similarities that we have within our design. So this is being used in 1, 2 and 3 places. All right. So we can customize this up by creating a component for achieving this particular result just by one component itself. Then the next thing, which is the horizontal list, actually, I would say. So horizontal list is similar in 3 cases, mostly in home page of any application. We do see the horizontal scrolling or horizontal list coming up. That actually gives you the look and feel pretty awesome and also give you the option to have more stuff in your home screen. That is why it is being used. And that's what we have also implemented in a similar manner. So I'm going to make this dynamic in such a way that you don't have to write a lot of code again and again, and we are going to achieve the same result by just doing simple stuff. Okay, now I'm not talking about the designing part. Obviously the designing is same in the recent viewed and the popular models, which we are going to achieve with the help of only a single component, as the design will be same, just the data will be different. So the data here will be the mock data that I'm going to prepare. So there is no issue with that, but I'm going to prepare in such a way that you will see the difference between the two. Okay. Then comes in between all of this comes the banner part. Now this is a single banner which I have just prepared. There is no horizontal scrolling in this, just a single banner. But yes, look at the design part. It is looking little different, which we have done so far. So how can we design this up? Because there is a background image, background color, and on top of that we have our text. So we have to design this particular things too. Now this is just the overview which I've given how I'm going to proceed to design this thing. Let's get started now. Now to start with building this up, I'm going to use the Ionic Framework, which is using the Angular framework. All right. So in order to install that, if you are new here, definitely you need to run this particular command to install Ionic CLI, and then create a new Ionic project with the help of this particular command, where you will get the type of framework is Angular and the type of approach is standalone. As you already know that in Ionic we get 2 approaches, one is standalone and one is ng module. So we are not going to use ng module here, we are just going to go for standalone. Okay, that's what you can do directly here itself. So this command will create your project, and then you just simply need to go to the root folder, project root folder, and run Ionic serve. And that is what you're going to get as the output and as soon as you run this up. Now this is a blank project which I have created. That is why I've given it as blank. But we are going to design it as tab screen. Okay. Now I'm going to design this tab screen in a customized way. So I have not created any pages as so far, just a simple blank screen which gives us the home screen by default, as you can see here. But I'm going to transform it in such a way that we will get the tab screen also. So let me first remove this. I don't need that. Let me clear it up and let's start building now. So to start off, I need to create some pages. Let's do it quickly. So we have all the stuff to be ready. and we just need to start coding. Okay, now to do so, I'm just going to open another terminal here and run the command Ionic G for generate page. Let me call a pages folder which will be created automatically as soon as I run this up. And after that, I just need to create my pages. So I'm going to go for tabs page at first. That's where I'm going to keep my tabs layout. Okay. Now within the tabs layout, I'll have a lot of things which I'm going to clear it off. But within the tabs, we also need the other pages like the home screen we'll be going to have. Then we will have the search, then an add button, and then this is a chat, and this is the profile or account screen. Okay, so I need at least 5 pages, or even you can skip 4 of those because we are just going to design the home screen here. So let's start off with designing the tab screen, then I'm going to move ahead. So let me clear everything from here, and in fact in the SCSS nothing is there. In the TS file we do have a lot of stuff. I'm going to clear everything because the things that I need within the tab screen is something different, and I'm going to show you now. First of all, let me clear the unnecessary stuff which we have here. Once that is cleared up, I'll go to the HTML and start designing it up. So ion tabs is the one which I need to use, in which we do get an ion tab bar. So the buttons will be inside the ion tab bar which you have already seen. So this is just like a container within which we have our ion tab buttons. So each button will hold a route. Let's design that too. Now ion tab button. Now this tab will redirect to home, and that's the route which we are going to create. Don't need to worry. We have to create a page for it. So I'm going to do that up. And then within this button, we have already seen we need an icon and a label. So for the icon, I'll give the name to be home outline. And after the icon, we will also have ion label. Okay, I don't think we have the ion label, right? Let me just check it once again. I just forgot. We don't have any label. I'm sorry. Label is not needed. Only the icon is needed. So for the label, well, we have got the import, so I'm going to remove that. As soon as we start typing, it takes the import, and there are some unnecessary import also that are available, so I'm going to remove all of this. This is very good from Ionic that they are giving us suggestion which one to remove, which one not to remove, just by changing the color of it. And that's reduce our time to check and verify which all we have to remove manually. So it's quite good. Now let's get back to our HTML, and I'm going to design the other tab buttons in a similar way. So let me just do it here. I have 3 more buttons, actually 4. One is for the search, then the add button, chat bubble, and last one is the profile. So this 5 icons I have built actually within the ion tab button. So now we just need to show the design. To show the design, we have to change the route, for which I'll go to app.route.ts file, and here we got an error because we have removed the home screen or the home page, and it is showing an error because there was already a route available for that. I'm going to remove it and redirect by default to tab screen. Once I do that up, I will see the design coming up. Let's check it out. If I reload, well, I don't see the icons, but this is the tabs layout which is showing up. Now, why don't I see the icons? Well, there is a slight twist in this. In standalone approach, mostly as of now, you have to add the icons. Well, for adding the icons, what you have to do, add icons in your constructor wherever you're using it, and within this you have to pass each and every icon. For example, if you are using home outline, so I need to pass it in this particular way. For the first time, you might not get the suggestion. In my case, I'm not getting the suggestion. In that scenario, you have to do it manually. Import home outline from icons / icons. Once you do that up, you will be able to see one icon at least as of now. Let me just check it out. Yeah, there we go. You see the icon coming up. That's great. In a similar way, if I go for other icons, I'll see the suggestion this time. So let me go for search. Just look at it, search outline. I'm getting suggestion, and import is also done. So that's how we get the stuff. Now there is one more thing in the HTML. Once all of this is done, I'll just remove this E, and now I'll add E here. Let's check it out what happens if I add E, and if I go to TS file, you just see all of them are added automatically. I didn't add all of it, but they are added now. So that's what happens in Ionic. They are giving us the suggestions. They are helping us to do everything on their own. Okay, we don't have to type every time. They're just going to understand what exactly we are going to do. Just for the first time, you have to take care of it. I hope they rectify that part also in the coming versions, but possibly this is one thing which you need to take care of. Rest Ionic will take care of it, and we get all the icons available here. After getting the icons, the next thing which I'm going to work with is not with the other pages to be created. First of all, I'm going to start with the theming part. So let's design the theming part, and then we will move ahead with the other stuff. So for the theming part, I'll go to variables.scss, where we don't see anything as of now. Why? Because in Ionic latest version as of now, they have moved everything to this particular node modules file. Okay, so node modules file, so it is there by default, and if you need something, you can do it in a customized way. Now, like in our case, I'm going to pass colon root and some customized styling to it. So this is my styling which I'm passing here, which I prepared. So these are the colors which I'm going to pass for the primary color. For the secondary and all the other colors, well, if you are not sure how to do that, simply go to this particular location and you will be able to find how to do it. Means you simply have to pass this particular colors, only one color, and rest you will get it automatically. If you do not know, I have already shown it up many times. Let me just show you once again, just a briefing part which I'll give you now. Let's check it out. So here I'm into the theming right now, and within the theming, if I just scroll down here and within the theming, I have to go to, I think, color generator possibly. Yes, here you simply need to select the color which you need to pass. Just click on it and pass all the colors. Rest, it's going to generate all the stuff for you, and you just need to copy and paste in your code. Simple, right? Once that is done, let's get back to our design part. And after this is done, have I done anything else? Well, actually I do. Let me just scroll down and show you up. So I've got all the colors and then some custom colors which I have prepared, like the background color is a whitish color which I've given, and color card, color text, secondary color. So if you do not want this colors, you can simply remove it. I've just put it on for my convenience to use it somewhere in the project. If you're not sure, definitely you can remove it up. For spacing, for typography, like the font size, what can be the font size for each and everything, I've just given some custom values which I can directly use it throughout the application. Okay, then some font weight also I pass, and for the font family, I'm using this particular font family which is directly coming. If you are not sure how to do that, simply type here font family and you get a lot of options. I have selected this particular one, and in Ionic there are some things which you need to take care of, like this is the one with the help of which you can change the font family throughout the application. So directly font family will also work, but this is what the standard way should be. Okay, that's how I have done it. Okay, you can take Google Fonts also if you want to, and that's what I'm going to keep for the timing, and I'm happy with that. So let me just align everything properly, and the theming part is done. Once the theming part is ready, the next thing which I'm going to prepare is the pages. So let's go to the pages. I'll click here and go to the terminal. Within the terminal, now I'm going to create some more pages within my tabs page, because tabs page is ready and we have to prepare the other routes which will be children of the tabs page, as this is not going to change until and unless we navigate to any sub page from the tabs. Okay, hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. So I'll just create a home screen or home page. Then I will be needing a search page. Okay, I'm just creating all the pages so that if I click anywhere, at least it will show up some page. We are not going to design all of it as of now, but at least we'll be able to see everything working. Then the next thing is the profile or account, whatever name you want to give. Another one will be the chat page or chats, whatever you want to name it as. And last but not the least will be for the addition. So addition of what? Well, addition of a new post. So let me call it add post. Okay, let's call it that. Fine. So once everything is done, the pages are ready, but the route is not ready yet. So either you can create a tabs route differently, or you can directly work with the app route.ts file. And how we can make children of it, you can see all the routes are showing up here, but this is not what we need. We need it to be the children of the tabs page, as otherwise it's not going to show it up here. If I click on it, just look at it what happens. If I click on it, as of now nothing happened. I don't want that. I want this to work. So I'll move all the route, I'll cut all of it and pass a children here. In this way I'll make it children of it. Let me just move it at the bottom and give a comma here. Now within this I'll pass all the route and align it properly. Okay, so I made all of them to be the children of the tabs route. Okay, then I also need to pass a default route. Whenever you enter the tabs, which one will be the default route that's going to come up? So in my case, I'm going to pass the path to be, well, if it is an empty path, means if you are into the tabs, where you want to redirect to. Basically, if you type just tabs, okay, then it should redirect somewhere within the children, right? So that's what I'm going to prepare. Redirect to, let's say, slash tabs slash home. Or you can directly write home also if you want to. But I prefer to pass the proper location so that there won't be any issue anytime. Path match, let me call it full. You have two options, full or prefix. I just need the complete path. That is why I've given it in such a way. So this is now ready, and you do see the home screen or home page showing up within our tabs layout, right? So if I click on now search, you see the search, add won't work because the add route is different. The name that we gave into our tabs HTML file for this particular button is add, but the name of it is add post. I prefer that, and let's check the route now. So search, profile, chat, add post. Now if I click on the add button, you will see add post. So this is what you need to take care of. All the routes should be proper, otherwise things will not work as expected. Once this is done, I'm going to style my tabs layout a bit. For that, I'll go to the SCSS file and work on it. Now, what exactly I need to do here? Well, in the tabs layout, I just need to change the tab bar color to be the whitish color. So I'm going to take the white color from where? From my contrast. Let me just show you. Anywhere I can take it. I've created a lot of custom colors also, but I can take it from here also. I can call this variable directly and get the white color, or directly pass the white color, whichever you prefer. So what I'll do here is I'll go to the tab page SCSS file and work with it. Ion tabs, within that I have the ion tab bar, where I'm going to change the background color to the contrast color, primary contrast, which will be the whitish color. And that's how it is changed now. Now once that is changed, I also need to pass some more properties of CSS so that the design looks a bit better, for which I'll give the border radius at the top left and top right, along with some box shadow which will look nice, and border is none, also given some padding, with the help of which we have some padding at the top and bottom, nothing at the left and right. If you want to give left and right also, definitely you can pass it, but that's not going to look actually much better, but it's fine. If you want, definitely you can give it up. It will look much closer. If you want that kind of a design, I'm happy with that also. Okay. But if you just want at the top and bottom, definitely you can go for that part too. It's completely your choice, but I'm happy with this thing. I'll keep it as it is. Once that is done, you do see everything is working here. But as soon as I change the color of the home screen, I mean to say, let me go to the home screen HTML file. And in the HTML, we do have some by default design that is available. I'll just remove everything from here and pass the ion content a color of light color, okay, which we have in our variables.scss file. Now once I do that up, once it becomes lighter, you see there is a background color which is not getting changed. I think if I just reload it up, you might be able to see if I just enlarge it a bit. So how to remove that particular color? Well, the color should be same as the background color of the content, because I just want this particular part to be rounded a bit. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is the ion tabs color, the background color of the ion tabs should not be the same color as we are passing here. It should be the same color as we are passing it above. Mostly in every screen, we are going to pass the light color as the background color. That's what going to give us the look and feel. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to make the tabs background to be the light color, or you can make it transparent also if you want to. But I don't want to make it transparent because the tab bar color is whitish color, so it's going to take the white color as the transparent color, which I don't want. That is why I'm giving the light color. Now it will look better. Okay, so far so good. Just one more thing is left, which is to work with the buttons here. Now here the button size I want to change a bit. Also the color too, because these colors are okay, but I want to change this particular color when it is not selected. So for doing that, within our ion tab bar, I'm going to design my ion tab button, where I'm going to give the default color to be the little grayish color. Okay, and along with that, the color which will be the one tab which will be the selected one will have the primary color. That's why this home is primary color. Then for the ion icon, I am changing the font size, making it a little smaller by passing font size to be XL. If you're not happy with this particular design, you can definitely change the font size or keep the default font size if you want to. So the default font size is a little bigger. If you want that, definitely you can keep this particular design also if you want to. But I'll just make it smaller for the time being. Alright. So the tabs design is ready. It's time to move on to the home screen and start designing it up. In the home screen, what exactly do we need? Well, we need the header part. We don't need the title, but we do need the buttons on the start and end part. Also, the toolbar color will also be lightish color. Okay, so this is our home screen, but the design is not showing properly. What's wrong with it? Let me just run it again. Sometimes it happens that when the design is not reflecting in our output, as we have created some new pages and it takes time or some reload or some patches for it to work properly. So let's start designing it up. For the toolbar, I'm going to give the color to be light, and after that, I'm going to create some buttons here. I need 3 buttons, for which I'm going to use iron buttons. Slot will be start for the first button, where we will have the menu button actually, but I'm going to use directly a button with the icon called menu outline. So if you want the menu button, definitely you can use iron menu button component directly, but I don't want to use that for the time being because we do not have any menu, and it's not going to show up if you do not have any menu. Okay, that's how it works, because you need to have iron menu in the app.component.ts file, HTML file basically. If you don't have that, it's not going to work. It's not going to toggle. That is why I'm just passing it up in this particular way, and I've given a customized class called border icon button, which I'm going to use it up to design it. Okay, it's not showing you because we have to add the icons in our constructor. Similarly, I have created iron button. Slot will be end, and within the end we need 2 buttons. That is why one is this particular button and the other one is this particular button, where we have different icons for each and every one. I'm just going to add those, then you will be able to see the icons at least. And I have some custom class which is similar to the one which I have given at the top, except the one which I've given here. So I've created 2 classes, ME2. Now what is this for? You can understand. Margin and basically I'm going to give some margin and here, because I want the difference between or some margin between 2 buttons here. Okay, let's first fix the buttons, for which I'll go to the TS file of the home screen and start working with it. First of all, need to remove the stuff which is not available or not needed anymore. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need all of it. So let's remove everything. It's ready now, and I just need to pass add icons in the constructor so that it shows me all the icons whatever I need. I'm not going to pass the profile icon because it is already available in the tab screen. So whenever you're going to go to the home screen, definitely you will have the tab screen. That is why this icon is showing up. So that is not needed to be added here. Apart from that, we do need the other icons like the menu outline. I'll just add it up. Along with that, I also need the notifications outline. Where is it? This is the one. Click on it and it will get imported automatically. And you see all the icons here. Once that is done, what is next which we need to do? Let's check it out. I'll just go to the HTML. So we have everything ready here. We just need to design it up to make it a circular, the design that actually we need. So I'm going to start off with the iron header, where actually I need to remove the border also, which I'm going to show you how I can do that very easily. Now, iron toolbar, we have created a class, actually 2 classes. So I'm going to just prepare those classes here directly. Just look at it. Bordered icon button, where I'm just passing a border of a color, which you can just simply see here, which is the color that I have passed here, little light color, and a border radius of 50% so that it can be round shaped. After that, I'm working with the icon to pass a font size which we have already created into our variables.scss file. That particular variable I'm using it here directly. And along with that, I'm just passing some padding so that we have some spacing in between the icon and the border. Okay. Once that is ready, I'm also passing another class ME2 to pass some margin inline, and with the help of which we will have some margin between these 2 particular buttons. Otherwise, there is no spacing between these 2 buttons, which I don't want. I want some spacing between the 2. That is why it is being done. Finally, one more last thing which I need to apply is some padding on my iron toolbar. Let's say 1 rem would be better, because as you can see within the design, we have some margin on all sides. So that's what I'm going to apply here also. Everything is looking good here, except this particular bar or the border, which I will remove it with the help of the HTML customized class, or not the customized class. This is the predefined class which we have for the iron header. So class iron no border is the class which I need to pass, and it's going to understand that I need to remove the border, and it's going to remove it for us. So far so good. This part is achieved. ticked. The next part which we need to design is the search bar. For the search bar, what exactly we need to do? Well, I'm going to use the ion input for doing that because for the ion search bar, if I go for using it, definitely it's not going to work or it's not going to be designed as this particular one, because even if we try to change it, it's going to take it. We can do that, but we have to design a bit more there. I'm not saying we cannot do that, okay? We can definitely achieve that. But this design can be much more easier with ion input. Now, why I'm saying that, let me just show you, and then you are going to understand very, very easily. So I'm going to pass the search bar within my ion content because I want it to scroll along with the other data. Now, to start off, I'm going to pass ion padding on all sides for my ion content, and then I'm going to pass my ion input tag, which is imported, I hope. Sometimes it doesn't get imported and you get a lot of problems later on. So now you can see this is imported and we are relieved now. Once that is imported, what I actually need to do here, there are some things which is introduced within the ion input, which is great, with the help of which we can add customized button text anywhere on the left side, right side, means on the start side, end side, very easily. And that's why I'm going to use the ion input. Okay, now to design the stuff which we have already seen, I need two buttons. On the left side or on the start side, I need the search button, right? And on the end side, I need a button which will be used for sending or for entering or for submitting the search result. So let's achieve that. I'm going to create two buttons. One is for the icon, and here also you can create a button, but I just need the icon. That is why I'm just passing that up. So icon slot is start and name is search outline. Now why I'm giving an icon? Well, basically I don't want it to be clickable. This is just for showing it up. That is why just the icon is enough. If you want it to be clickable, definitely it's better to pass a button that will give you the look and feel of clicking something. Okay, as of now, if I click on it, well, nothing appears, right? There is no ripple effect. Now the second one will be a button, pure button, where we have slot icon only, so that the icon becomes bigger within the button. Then for the button, even I can pass round shape, but I don't want to do that. I can directly use it with the help of, means I can directly achieve the same design with the help of CSS, which will be much more efficient than the round button, because round shape is not 100% circle. Okay, that is why I don't want that. And finally, the name of the icon which I'm going to use is paper plane outline, which you can see here. Okay, so this is ready. We have got everything ready, and this one I have not imported, and it is imported automatically if you just check it here. So that's what happens. Now let's get back to our HTML. I think we don't have to do anything here. In our HTML part, we have to go to the CSS to design it the way we need. To start off, I'm going to work around with the ion content, and within that we have our ion input, in which I'm going to pass the background color to be the white color. Well, you can take the color of the contrast, primary contrast, which we have already passed into the I think tab screen. So you can take the same variable if you want to. Okay, let me just copy it up, and it's going to work in the same way. If you don't want to pass this particular custom stuff, definitely, because in light mode and dark mode, if you're toggling it up, definitely you need to change the colors, right? And if you don't want that to be the dark color, definitely you can change it up. So I'll not fix it. Let's keep it variable only. If the variable changes, it's going to change. I hope it's fine. All right, let's move ahead, and the next step is the border radius, which I've already given of 50 pixel, and these two are the custom CSS properties which are already available within the ion input. Along with that, I'm also fixing the height to 4 rem so that it becomes bigger. Otherwise it was not that big. If I just remove it, you will see this is quite shrinked, which I don't want. I want it bigger, so I'm just increasing the size or height of it. And that's not it. Now I need to work around with this particular icon which is present at the slot start. So I can directly call it with the help of this particular step, ion icon slot start. So this is completely very easy. Because why I'm doing that? Because within the button also we have an ion icon. So I don't want both of them to be clashing. So that is why I'm just passing. You just take the ion icon whose slot is start. Just I want to apply this particular design on that particular icon only. Okay, so font size I have increased, and now I can use the same variable which I have created here. Let me just check it out. 1.5 rem. Do I have any variable here with 1.5 rem? Actually I do. This is the font size, so I'm going to just copy it up, go to the homepage CSS file, and replace this particular stuff with the variable that we have created. Once that is done, everything is good to go. Now margin inline start 0.8, margin padding inline end is 0.5. This is done for the ion icon. If we do that up, then you do get certain spacing here. The margin inline start, basically this is the margin that it was having. Earlier there was I think no margin, and I wanted some margin, that is why I did that. And for the padding also to have some spacing here. Then a border inline end is being passed, with the help of which we get a very light border here. Okay, so we are almost there. Okay, just need to play around with this particular button also, and then we are good to go. So for the button, we can directly work around with the button here, because there is only one button within this particular search bar or the iron input. Okay, so directly iron button, where border radius I've changed it to 50% and margin inline end, just giving some margin at the end part along with the height and width to be fixed to 3 rem, so that it becomes circular and much more efficient and responsive throughout the devices. In any device, if you use it, mostly you will get the same design. Let's check it out. If I go for this particular device, let me reload, and you get the same look and feel. That's what we need, right? Let's get back and we're good to go. So this design is also ready. We have designed our search bar. You can just type it here if you want to comment search bar or custom search bar. I can write it down, custom search bar. Great. Now you can match it up. It's the same. Once that is done, it's time to jump into the main part. So in the main part, what do we have? We have to create a component, like I said earlier, for this particular stuff, and the second component for this particular stuff. There are two components which need to be prepared. First of all, for the horizontal list, then for the card design, means the card 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 that I'm going to use here for showing my cars. So let's build it up, because we have another design here for the brands, so both are different, and that is why we need to keep it in such way. Don't get confused. Let's do it step by step. I'll just jump to the homepage HTML first of all, and just take the look and feel what exactly we need to do next. So here I need to prepare a recently reviewed list, for which I need to prepare the mock data also, then the design part and everything. So let's start with the mock data. I think that would be better. For the mock data, I've already prepared the mock data here, which you can see for the banner. That's for the banner part. Okay, this image is already available in our assets. I'm going to show you now. And then for the brands, this is my JSON data, which I prepared. Okay, and along with that, for the car data also, I have prepared some JSON data, which includes a lot of varieties. So this is done. Now within our SLC folder, the assets folder that we have, I have just passed all the images here, which you can just simply see. Okay, just check this out. These are the brand images. These are the car images which we have. Looking awesome, right? Okay. Along with that, some featured banner, one featured banner which we needed. And we have designed that also. Basically, I've taken with the help of AIs this particular stuff, or some website also like Lexica, Pixabay to get this stuff. So I think I've used mostly Lexica here and somewhere Pixabay. Okay, so you can just get all these designs as per the requirement, and I have done the same. All right, this is done. And what else we need? Well, nothing else. We just need to prepare the code or the components to design it up, or to show it into our design part. Starting off with, I'm going to create a list header. All right. For that, what am I going to do? Well, in my home screen, within this, I need to show the header part. Let me create a component for it. Ionic GC for component within the components folder that I'm going to create, and it will be created automatically. I'll name it as list header. Okay. You can name whatever you want, but I think this name is more relevant, so that is why I'm doing that up. Now let's get back to our components and start working with the design part here. So to design it up, there is one challenge which we need to face. Let me just close all the files at first, and in the TS file, you see here, we do not have standalone to be true, because in latest version of Ionic, you don't need standalone to be true to be passed by default, as all the components, all the pages are standalone by default, so you don't need to do anything. But still, there are certain things which you need to take care of. As of now, I'll just pass the imports. That's what you need to pass. And if you don't pass the standalone to be true, you don't get the suggestions properly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, for the Ionic components that I'm going to use here. Anyways, let's try it out. So in the list header, what am I going to have? I'll prepare an iron item divider. Okay, let me hit enter. And now this is imported, which is great. Within which I'm going to have an iron label. Now you won't be able to see the design, right? And I want to show you the design. So how I can do that up? Let me just show you. But first of all, let me just pass something here. Let me pass an heading in this way. With the help of signals, I'm going to prepare that up in the TS file. Let's show you how exactly I'm going to do that. So heading, I'm going to use input writable input signal, which is read only mostly. If you want to change the value, definitely you can do something else also. Now this will be of type string. and initially it won't have any value. If you want to pass empty string, definitely you can. If you don't want to pass anything, you can simply skip that also. And you can make it a required field if you want to. In this way, it will not required. That's how you can work around. Now let's get back to our homepage HTML file. And within this particular file, I'm going to call my app list header. Now there is one more interesting thing which Angular has introduced or in the experimental phase right now, or they're going to introduce in the coming future, which is related to this selector. We don't need to use the selector anymore. Without selector also, definitely you can pass it up. Now, what's wrong here? I'm getting an error. Required field we need pass. So about that we are going to talk later on in some other video, but for the time being, let's finish it up. I need to pass heading. So let me just pass directly because that will be a string. So heading will be recently viewed, and you see the design that is showing up. So that's how we can work around with it. Now let's finish it up now. You will be able to see all the changes, whatever we do here. Well, first of all, the color of the iron label, I'll change it to dark color. Then I'm going to have an iron button whose slot will be end. In iron item divider, you can simply pass in this particular way and it will be placed at the end bar. Along with that, I don't want the button field. Basically, it's not going to have any background or something. So I'm going to keep everything as cleared, and color of it will be dynamic. Okay, so let me pass button color, which I'm going to create button color input signal function. I'm going to create that up. Don't need to worry. Now within this, I need an iron icon to be passed whose slot again will be end because we will have the text also, and it will be slotted after the text in LTR direction, left to right direction. So always at the end part. And the name of the icon will also be dynamic. So I'm going to keep it in this particular way, button icon. Let me call it that. And finally, after this, I'm going to have a button name also if it is available. So at the rate, if we do have the button name, then only I'm going to show it up, show the button name, because in some cases we do not need the button name. Why to pass it in that particular place? Now you must be thinking, why am I passing slot to be end if I'm not having any button? Well, you can definitely check that also, but I'm not checking that for the time being. It's okay for me. All right. So let's get back to our TS file and have all the other input signal functions. So these three are the ones which I need, and all of them are ready. Well, this is not mandatory, and all the others I think are mandatory, so you can simply have those if you want to, like make it a required field, and this is going to prompt the user that you need to pass this particular fields, otherwise your stuff is not going to work as you want. Like in this case, we are getting the errors. So that's the power of this input signal that we have now. Even you could have done this with the decorator which we were using earlier at the rate input. Definitely you can use it now also if you want. But I just want to show you the latest stuff. That is why I'm doing this in this particular manner with the help of signal. Okay, so this is my stuff for the iron list header, and we do get the list header, but designing part is not awesome. So let's work on the designing part, which is actually very simple to understand. I don't want this background color. I want this stuff to be looking nice. Okay, a little bigger in font size possibly. So let me just show you what exactly I have done. I've changed the padding start and padding inline and for the iron item divider, passing it to 5 pixels so that it doesn't take a lot of space here. Along with that, the background I've made it transparent, so whatever is the background that you have at the very beginning, like here in the iron content we have the background to be light, so it's going to take that particular background. For the iron label, I've changed the font size and font weight. For the button that we have here, I have changed the font size, made it little smaller, which is okay. And for the icon, I have made a little bigger. Okay, so these things I have just applied, and you don't see the icon here as of now, as we have not, what we have not done, well, we are using arrow forward outline, but this is not imported automatically, so I have to pass it here, arrow forward outline. This is the one imported. Once that is imported, you will be able to see this up. Great. But the job is not yet done. I also need to do one more thing for the iron list, not iron list, this is the list header component. Basically, I'll pass some margin bottom so that it has some spacing if we have some other stuff at the bottom. And I need some margin at the top also, for which I'm going to wrap all the stuff within a list. To do so, let me go to the homepage HTML file and let's remove this up and pass everything within an iron list, which will bring up all the spaces automatically and align everything properly here. In this way, just check this out. Right now, I just need to remove the background color here also. And to do so, let me go to the homepage SCSS file and start working with the iron list here. So after this stuff is done, for the custom search bar, I'm going to work with the iron list, make the background to be transparent and margin top 3 rem will be fine. Now it has a lot of spacing, and it will be the same everywhere. Okay, wherever we are using the ion list, which is great. So this part is also done, and similarly we can have all the other stuff whatever we need here. The next thing which I'm going to prepare is the swiper.js container. Basically whatever the container we need for the horizontal list, we are going to prepare that up in a dynamic way. Yes, you heard it right. We're going to prepare that up in a dynamic way so that you can use it throughout the application wherever you want to. To do so, let me create a component. So Ionic GC within the components folder only I'm going to do that, which can be shared throughout the application. That's what it means. Whatever you need, you can use it up. So within the components, I'm going to name it as horizontal list. Spelling is right. Let's enter it up. So whatever name you want to give it, you can simply work on that. And here I will simply work with the swiper.js. For working with the swiper.js, you need to install swiper. So npm I swiper. That's going to install swiper.js in your project, and then you can start working with it. So once that is ready, I'm already into the horizontal list component. So just open this up. Along with that, I also need to open this TS file. So these two files are okay. Now let's start working with it. Now in the TS file, what exactly do we need to start off with the swiper.js? So we need the swiper module, which will hold the Ionic slides. That's what I'm going to import from. Let's import this up. Import Ionic slides from at ionic/angular/standalone. If you're using a standalone project, you need to pass standalone. For the ng modules, you simply need to pass at ionic/angular, not this particular part. Alright, so this is ready. The next thing we need to work with is the register function for this swiper to work around properly. So registered function, and it will be imported from import register function from where? From swiper/element/bundle. Okay, so once you do that up, the setup is ready for using this swiper.js. Before moving to the HTML, just one last thing I need to do, which is to work with the custom element schema, because in swiper.js you need to pass this up. Okay, custom, this is the one, custom element schema imported. Okay, so once that is imported, now we can go to the HTML and work with this stuff which we need to. So what exactly I'm going to do? I need to call this swiper container, and along with that, there will be swiper slide that will be looping it up. So for looping it up, I need the items also. So let me just pass one more thing. Let's get here input. I'm going to pass input signal, which will be a mandatory field, and that's going to have custom type. So to have the custom type or generic type, I'll just pass here T. It can take any type. Okay, now it's fine. If you don't want to pass this, you can simply skip this particular part. Okay, now let's get back to our HTML and start working with it. At the rate differ when items array is available, then only I'm going to go ahead and show you the design. Otherwise, I'm not going to go ahead. Now within this, I will start off with swiper container. So swiper container will hold certain attributes that I need to pass here. So there can be lots of attributes which you can definitely use, but some of the important ones I'm going to show you up. And let me just prepare a signal here, an input signal called config, in which I can have lots of properties. Whichever I need, I can simply pass it here. But the most important ones, I'm going to use this too. And rest of the things, well, it's not going to work as expected. So I'm just going to comment it up. If you want, definitely you can use all of it. Okay, but there are certain problems with the present version of swiper, as it does not take the dynamic value in some cases, like for the initial slide or something. So hopefully they're going to fix that in recent times. But for the time being, let's skip that and just work with these swipers, slides per view and space between. That's the only two things which I need for this particular project. And that's what I'm going to pass it here. Now within this, let me pass this particular attributes. Along with that, I have passed an identifier called swiper. So you can name anything you want. Just to use it in our TS file, if you need, then you can call it this particular tag or this particular element directly with the help of this particular identifier. Or you can pass ID also if you want to. That's completely fine. This will be an event that will get triggered if there is a swiper slide change. That means if you're changing the slides, it's going to get triggered, and a function will be called on execution, on change of which you can do whatever you want. But for the time being, I'm just going to pass a functionality with the help of which you will be able to understand how it is changing. So let me pass just two functions. Well, basically the first one will be on slide change. Whenever slide is changing, you need to get triggered what is the current slide. So you can get the current index of that particular slide in this particular way and do whatever you want to do with that. Okay, you want to set to a signal value, definitely you can. You can in fact send this value to wherever you want in the main parent component, definitely you can. Okay, so I'm just leaving that part to you. For the time being, what I'll do is I need to create this swiper ref, for which let me pass here swiper ref equals to view child, and that's how we do it in signals. And here element ref will be used as the type where I'm going to pass this swiper. Remember the hashtag swiper which we gave for this swiper container, that's what I'm going to use here. So this is how we are going to navigate to that particular element and work on it to get the current index. Okay, you can just log the value wherever you want to, like this particular value I'll just log it here, not in this way. I'm not using any signal function here, so let me just pass it in this way. That's gonna be fine. Okay, along with that I have also prepared another functionality where which you can use to slide to a particular index. If you pass the index, you will get slide to the particular index smoothly. Okay, that's what it's going to do, this particular functionality, and it's going to work pretty smoothly. So that is also I've just prepared and passed it here. Not going to use as of now, but just for your information, this is being done. Okay, after doing that, I'll loop it up the items array. I'm going to loop it up and get my swiper slide within that. In this way, swiper slide will be prepared. Okay, then close the loop. All right. Now within each slide, I need my template. Now this template will be dynamic this time. How should we do that to make it dynamic? That's very interesting part. Okay. So to make it dynamic, I'll use something called template outlet, ng template outlet. Let me show you how exactly we can achieve that. So in order to work with that, I'll go to my TS file, scroll towards the top, and I'll make some dynamic templates to be passed here. So look at this item template, which will be an input signal, and that is a required field. So with the help of which we will get a reference to that particular template. Okay, now you will be able to understand what exactly I've done here. First, let me prepare all of this. Once this is prepared, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my HTML file and call here, let's say ng container. This is just a tag which can be used, which not going to hold any margin padding or something, just empty container. Okay, now on this container I'm going to put on ng template outlet, which is going to be equals to item template that we have already passed in this particular way, and that's not empty. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Now align everything properly, and I think we're good to go. Yeah, nothing else to do here. Just one more thing to remember: when we slide, okay, there should be the end slide which will show you like view all or something, so where you can redirect to some other screens to show all the items in a vertical list. Okay, that happens most of the time. So for doing that up, what I can do is, in the similar way, I'm going to prepare another input signal, or actually in two, is view all. So you are going to set it to true or false. By default it is true. Okay, and the second one will be view all template. That's gonna be the one which will hold our template, how the design will look like, or whatever you want to pass it there. Now here, what am I going to do? I need to have another swiper slide. So I'm going to prepare it with a condition that if view all is true, okay, if the value of it is true, then only I'm going to show it up and do it in the similar way which we have done here. Okay, so far so good. This is ready. Now once this is ready, if it is working or not, how to check it up? Well, we will go to our homepage HTML file and start designing it up, and then we will be able to understand if it is working or not. Now to start working with that, let me create ng template in my homepage HTML, where I'm going to give a reference. Let's say recently viewed RV template, short form of recently viewed, any name I'm passing. Okay, and within this, let me pass for the time being, let's say hi, or what should I say, RV, whatever. Okay, just for the time being. Okay, we are going to have proper designs, don't need to worry about it. And I'll have one more for the view all. So view all, let's say RC, that's the name I've given, and let's say view all. Okay, so this is what I have prepared, and now it's time to call the horizontal list, which I'm going to call it here. So horizontal list. Now there are some required fields which we need to pass. So let me just prepare that directly. Now there will be an array for the items recently viewed cars items, which I'm going to get it from the mock data. Then for the item template, I'm going to pass this RV template. The configuration I'm going to set for this swiper slides means how many slides per view. I'm giving it as 1.6, which we have already seen in the design. Like we need to show one complete and the second one more than half. So that's what I prepared here, and the space between them is 20, which I have given here. You can change as per your requirement. Then for the view all, I'm just passing it up. By default, is view all is true, so I'm not going to pass it once again. Once that is done, I think we just need to prepare the functions, the signal functions for getting the value. Let's prepare that and everything will be ready to go. So what am I going to do here is, well, I'm going to prepare the signal functions for all of it, whatever I need. These are the ones which I need. So I prepared all of them at once. First of all, the brands, the signal function for that to get the brands, and I also need to prepare the interfaces, which I've actually already prepared. I'll just show you directly. Now you can see this is my interface. For the banner, we'll get the title, description and image. That's what we are passing it in our mock data if you just check it properly, right? So I'm just keeping the same stuff only. For the brands, doing the same way. You can just prepare the file with the help of a command also, or directly just by creating this folder and just having these files, okay, as I have done here. If you want by the command, so Ionic G interface, or I think I also you can use within the interfaces folder. Definitely means you just pass the folder and the file name and it's going to be created. And similarly for the car interface also the same stuff. Let's go to our home page TS file and import everything whatever we need. All right, all of them are almost imported. Great. Now these are the imports for the mock data. Means it represents the mock data, and I'll get the suggestion also if I just click on it. Just see from the mock data brand. So I'll just import all of it. So it's going to give me the array from the mock data itself directly. Now here you see in the reset view cars, I'm just slicing 3 items out of it, 0 to 3 items out of it, not complete items. So how many items are there by default? Mostly I've kept is as 4 items. Let me just show you. In the mock data, in the car interface, not the car interface, car array, just check this out. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Out of 4, I'm just calling 3 items. So this is how I'm preparing it up. Okay, so far so good. So this how our arrays are ready, and it's time to design or check it out into our HTML whether it's working or not. Well, though data is showing up and I'm getting an error here since it is not a known property. Okay, my mistake. And what is a mistake here? Since I didn't import it, this is standalone, so I have to import each and every stuff which I'm going to use. And why it is not showing me the error? Because I'm using custom element schema, so it just hides all the errors whichever you get. Okay, let's do it. Template, ng template, outlet, import it. Once that is imported, everything is good to go. But one thing actually I missed, I need to actually pass the item, all right, within this. So how will I do that? Here I don't need the items, so it's completely fine if I'm just passing it up. If I need to pass the item, I need to do something else. Along with this, I also need to pass the context. Okay, within the context, I can pass the data. Let's say implicitly I'm going to pass, and I'm going to pass the item. Okay, now it is giving me the error. So how to fix that? I need to pass the type in a certain way in my TS file. So basically what I'm trying to say is, where it is, this is the stuff. Here I'm just passing type to be T. That means a generic type. So if I have to work with it in the way that I have shown you up, with working with the context, so there are certain points. If I just remove it up and pass the item directly, then I think it's going to work. Yeah, look at this. This will work. Either you can do this, or if you want to pass implicitly like the way I have shown, so both will work. I think there is no harm in doing that. If you do that up, then you need to change the stuff. Let's try the easier one first of all. Let me just remove this. Why to complicate things, right? So let's remove this and try it out now. So you can see we are getting the data, which I am completely fine with. So if you are getting the data, that means it is going there. And if it is going there, I'll just check it once again with the data that I'm getting here is in the home page HTML. So if you are getting the data, I will be able to change the stuff here. And how I can do that up? Well, I simply need to pass here let item, and now I will be able to use, let's say, item question mark dot, let's say name. Let's check it out what it shows. No, it's not coming up. So what do we have within the item? I have to check it out. So we are passing reviewed. Okay, what do we have there? Within the car interface, we do have the brand name. So let me pass the brand name here instead of passing the name directly. Let's go to the HTML and let me pass here brand. If I do that, will I get anything? Well, it's not working. No, it's not working. Why it's not working? Well, if I pass it implicit in this particular way, then what's gonna happen? Let's check it out. I have to change the type of it. All right, let me change the type here to this particular one. And now let's check it out whether it works or not. Just see, this data is coming up. One more thing I would like to show you, if I just remove this implicit from here itself, okay, and see, now it won't work. So you have to pass proper data to work with it. That is why this implicit comes into play. Okay, now you understand how we can pass dynamic data from here itself, so which is very, very important. Okay, now let me close all the files because there are a lot of files that are opened up and it's confusing to understand sometimes. I'll get back to the homepage HTML file, and we have seen how we can dynamically prepare our horizontal list. So once that is ready, it's time to just design it up and get along. All right, that means our stuff is running. We are getting the dynamic data out of it. It's time to design it up. I'll just remove it and create a component here. So Ionic GC, within the components folder only, I'm going to create that, and I'm going to name it as card item. Hit enter, it's going to get created. Once that is created, we will be needing some other components also, which I'm going to create after some time. First, let's fix this up. Okay, not fix, actually we have to design it up. App card item, I have imported it, and I'm going to pass the item as an input data within this. Okay, so don't need to worry, I'm going to prepare that up in my component. Let's go to the component and design it up. First of all, I need to get the data so that there won't be any problem. Well, actually I'll be needing two things. One is the car input and the other one is the is view all. So is view all design also, I'm going to prepare it from here itself so that it can be seen everywhere. The card design, height, width, everything will be same throughout the horizontal list. Okay, that is why I'm doing that. Now let's import everything and get along with it. Optimize it up and go to the, not the home page, actually I need to go to the where. What's wrong here? Let me just check it once. Okay, I have paused it, so there should not be any problem here. Okay, I passed it as car and I'm taking there as item. It should be car. That is more relevant, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, got the problem solved. Let's go to our card item HTML and start designing it up. To design it up, actually one more last thing I need to do within my component TS file is the imports, otherwise things will not get imported. So once that is ready, let's start designing it up. So far you have seen a lot of hurdles which we have faced, but once this is designed, wherever you want to use it, you can use it very easily. For the first time when you're designing something, it takes time, and make sure you make the most out of it by reusing it again in some other applications, because mostly everything will be similar. By making some little changes in that, you can reuse it wherever you want in any kind of an application. So make sure you design it in such a way. I'm talking about mostly the components which I'm using, and not about the car item, but about the horizontal list header. These are like widgets which you are preparing, which you can use in any application. That is why I have built it in such a way. All right, got it now. Let's move ahead and work with the designing part. To start off, I'm going to wrap up everything within an ion card, and this is imported automatically. No standalone true is required, which is great. Now here I'm going to check the condition if is view all, if it is true or not. So if it is true, I'm going to show up some other design. If it is false, which I'm going to go for at first, then I'm going to show you some other design. Basically, if it is false, that means I'm going to show the card item design. Otherwise, the view all design will be shown. So in the else, let me just prepare the view all design at first and show you up, because that's going to be very simple. For which I'm going to prepare another component, which I'm going to call it as, let me create another component within the components folder called view all card. Okay, so this card will be prepared, which you can reuse it wherever you want. Okay, this is created. Now let's first work with that so that we can pass it here and work with it very easily. So let's get here and start designing it up. Well, not much to do. I'll just have a div and a button. So within a div, I'm just passing a button with an icon and some text called view all. Okay, now to import everything, I have to go to the TS file, pass here, imports in this manner, and just hover on everything one by one. Well, it's not working. Why? Come on. Okay, still it's not working. If that is not working, either you pass it directly or you can use standalone to be true. That's what you need to do to get rid of this problem. No, it's still not working. Well, anyways, if it is not working, just pass it directly, iron button and then iron icon. Okay, as simple as that. Remove this standalone to true. It was not needed. Okay, you need router link also to redirect somewhere wherever you want to. So pass that to router link. So see, I have prepared the major parts, just explaining you what all things we have done here. Nothing much. We're just passing a button, the view all, and the icon within that, they call the chevron forward circle outline, which I am going to pass it here itself directly in the constructor. I don't need to pass it anywhere else. So let me just pass it here. Chevron, what was the name actually? Forward circle. Okay. Forward circle outline. This is the one imported. So once it is imported, wherever you're using it up, you can directly use it. There is no problem in just passing it here. So this is done. Now the only thing that is left is this route function, which will be an input signal. So let's prepare that too. Now don't worry, it is not confusing at all if you just put on your attention properly. Because see what we are doing, we are just preparing the design part. Okay. Now in the design part, I am just showing you the easiest part at first, which is this view all card. So if we try to pass anything here, let me just show you. Let me just get back to the homepage HTML. Now here we have already passed car item, right? Now here also I'm just going to do the same pass car app car item in which is view all will be set to true. So once this is set to true, that particular view all card will be called. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to show you something else. Let's get to our car item and let me pass here car item. Okay, for the time being. And in this case, I'm going to call my app view all card. This is the one. Okay, so now it's going to be very easy for us to work with. Just look at it. I'll just call this and import. Once that is imported, now you see we are getting the data and the design is showing up. Just look at it, the button, the div, everything is showing up. Even I can just design it a bit more in the CSS. So what exactly do I need to do? I will make the div to take the 100% width and 100% height, whatever is there for the card that is available, because the card is available here, right? And I'm just preparing the design within that. So it will take the full height and width, along with it is going to center up every content vertically at the center. That's what I'm going to do. And with the help of iron text center, it will be horizontally, it will be centered up. So this is very, very important to center up everything properly, which is happening here as of now. It is taking the default height and width because we haven't set anything here. Whatever we set to this particular card, it's going to take that. So that is how we are going to design it up. Now this is prepared. We don't need to do anything there for this particular card design. Just we need to prepare this particular card, the height and width and everything. Whatever we do, it's going to take that. So how easy it becomes for us to design it up, right? How can we use it wherever we want? This is how we can do that. Now, once this is done, the smaller hurdle is completed. It's time to design the bigger one, which is the card item design. So here, what exactly do I need to do? Just look at the design part. I have an image here which I can directly pass within a thumbnail. Okay, iron thumbnail I can use to wrap it up. Below that, we can have all this stuff within an iron item. We'll have this within a label. This will be in a p tag. This will be another p tag, and this will be slotted towards the end, which I can align towards the bottom. So that's what I can do. And if I do that up, it's going to come up with this particular design. Only the thing that is left is this badge. Okay, I can use iron chip or iron badge to design this up along with the background color, the icon and the brand name. So all these things will be prepared with that, and this will be positioned absolute. So it will be free from its original position and can be placed anywhere. That's what we are going to do. Let's achieve that one by one. To start off, I'm going to work with the iron thumbnail, and it will not be imported automatically. I don't know why the iron thumbnail does not get imported automatically, but we have to do it manually here. So within the iron thumbnail, I'm going to pass the iron badge. Now why, you must be thinking, I'm passing the iron badge because I need to prepare this particular design, and I'm assuming that this whole stuff is iron thumbnail, a wrapper in which you will have the image and the badge at the top. Okay, that's how I'm going to align everything. So iron badge will be there. Whose color will be dark, so the background color becomes dark automatically. Where I'm going to pass car dot brand. I think card is input, so it will be function, right? And for the iron thumbnail, well, I need to import it manually. Let's get here and do it manually. Iron thumbnail and copy it up, just scroll towards the top and just paste it here. Fine. Align everything properly and you're good to go. Great. You see something which is coming up for the iron badge. Now after this iron badge, I'm going to have my IMG tag. You can use iron IMG tag also. If you are having some longer list, then you can definitely use that for lazy loading to be applied. Now within this image, I'm going to pass the src where we will have the brand logo. So brand logo will be placed, but this has to be placed within the iron badge because within the iron badge I have the brand name and brand logo. So once this data is ready, we will have to design it up. Don't need to worry. Let me prepare all the stuff at first. So after this iron badge, what am I going to do? I'm going to have another image tag. So it's almost the same stuff only. Image tag where I will pass the car image in this way. Okay, 2 times I have passed car. Let me just remove it once, and it will have a class so that I can identify it separately and design it up. So car image is the class name which I'm just going to pass it here and work on it later on. Okay, I think we should design it at the same time so that you can see something is working here. Let's go for it. That would be better. So there are a lot of approaches which you can just try, whether you can just have everything at first and then design it up, or the one which I'm showing you now. Build a certain section and design it up and then move ahead. So starting off with iron card, I'll design the iron card at first, which is very, very important. And this is the stuff which I'm going to pass there with a 100% width. Take the complete width, but height should be fixed to 14 rem. That's what I've done. You can change as per your requirement. So this is the stuff which I need. And then border radius of 1 rem is fine, which is 16 pixel mostly. Or if there is anything which is like overflow, then just hide everything. And there is no margin as such. If there is, then I've set it to 0. And the box shadow for the card, which is there some by default, which I've set it to none. There won't be any box shadow. Don't really look effect will be there, and no margin will be there, which is there by default. Okay, and padding also I have changed it to 0.5 rem to all directions, so that inner side you will have some padding which is quite small and which looks lovely. Okay, after this is prepared, I'll work with the iron thumbnail and design that up little bit, not much. So for doing that, I'll have the width and height to be fixed for iron thumbnail also. Along with that, the background will be transparent, so I won't pass any background color to it. After this is done, we need to design our iron badge, which is going to be placed at the very top. So within the iron badge, I will have first of all a font size, then work with the height and width of it, because I want to fix it to certain height and width, okay, which will be same everywhere. Like in this, in every item it will be same. Then aligning everything to center horizontally and vertically by using the flex layout. Okay, that's what I've done here, which is great. Aligning vertically, aligning horizontally by making the display to be flat. Next comes the image which is present here. I want to design that also within the iron badge, which is very, very important as it has to be smaller and aligned properly. So I'm making it to be taking a height and width of 0.9 rem, which is quite small and still visible. Also with object fit to be contained, so that it doesn't take the complete size. As much as it can fit, it will fit fully. Okay, then margin inline start. From the starting, there should be some margin so that there is some spacing between the brand name and brand logo. And finally, the background color, I've just set it to light color. If there is anything which is not showing up, means if the logo is black color, definitely you need a background color, otherwise it is not going to show up. And finally, the border radius of 50% so that it matches the complete logo properly. Like in this case, you don't see the logo background, right? Since we have passed border radius to be 50%, that is why you are able to see. Otherwise, you will see a box type of design. Just let's just reload it. Just look at it. Okay, here we don't see anything, but here look at it. You don't see the background color. Okay, and here in the Audi, since the icon color is black, you don't see anything. But if you just check this out, if you just pass it, you will be able to see all the logos. So that's how it works. And just look at the view all. It is taking the card, height, width and everything, whatever you have passed there. So that's how it works. Now you have the proper badge ready. Okay, so once that is ready, the next thing which we are going to work with is this car. So here also, I'm not going to do a lot of things, just a simple stuff, but let me just minimize it to get back to my class car image and design it a bit by passing the height and width. So look at this. I'm passing the complete width to just take the complete width, but the height I want 90% because I want some spacing at the bottom or at the top, wherever you want to give. So I want some spacing, and margin will be auto. So let me just move it towards the top. Okay. It's not going to make a lot of impact. Even if you just remove it, I think it's not going to make, I suppose. Yes. Well, not really. It's not making a lot of difference. Okay. Yeah, it's not making it. But still, I'm just passing it up because we are working with the height, and it should take automatically margin in all directions properly, equally actually. And the padding I've given of 0.5 rem. If you don't give it, it will be little enlarged, which I don't like a lot. So if you just check it out, if you like this, definitely you can go ahead with it. But I want it little smaller. That is why I've given some padding. Along with that, the image should fit properly as much as is the size. It should not like show or try to take the complete size. Okay, so that's what is happening. And look at this, we are almost there. We have achieved the first part pretty good, pretty nicely, right? This part is ready to go. We have the borders and everything working. The next part is the iron item which we are going to design. So like I said, we are designing in the similar way, or I would say the same way. Let's go ahead to the HTML and start designing the other part after the iron thumbnail. So I'm going to prepare here an iron item, like I said earlier, where lines will be none. And within this iron item, what all things do I need? I need an iron label, p text, two p text in fact. So let me just show you how exactly I'm going to do. So this is an iron label where I'm passing in iron text to change the color of it. I want to pass a dark color, and that is why I'm just passing it up on the model name. So once that is done, I will have my p tag where I'm going to pass the description. And for the description also, we need to just fix it to one line or maximum two lines, which we're going to see in CSS. After that, this is just the pricing part where I will have the currency. If you want to change the currency of the price, definitely you can do that with the help of currency pipe, which we have in Angular by default, but you have to import it. So for importing it up, I need to go here and pass currency pipe. Once I do that, it's going to take the currency whatever you need. For the time being, I just need it in USD as per the design part. Just look at it. You get the model name, you get the description, you get the pricing and everything. Okay, properly showing up. One thing left, which is the button on the right side, on the slot end basically. And that is quite simple to achieve. You already know how to do that, but still let's show it quickly. And this is my button where slot end color is light, which you have already seen. For the shape, I've given it as round this time. Earlier because I have to make it a circle, right? So I'm just giving a round shape, and I'm going to design it a bit on my own in the CS. Okay, we are going to play around in the CSS with that. For the iron icon, I've given color to be dark, not taking the same color. It's color dark, and slot is icon only, so that it gives a bigger icon, not the same icon with the text. Okay, because if you align it with the text, the icon becomes a little smaller comparatively. So that is why icon only means make the icon bigger because it is taking the complete size. Then bookmark circle, bookmark outline is the name of the icon which we are going to pass. So let me just import it in the add icons, and we will be good to go. Add icons. What was the name? Bookmark outline. Simple, done, great. Everything is good to go, and we do see all the stuff here coming up. It's time to design it. So let's move on to our CSS and SCSS file and start working with it. To start off, I'll work with the iron item where I'm going to pass the padding start, means the padding start to be 5 pixel and padding end to be 0, basically inner padding end. So that's how we can change the padding within the iron item on the left and right side, or the start and end part. Okay, because I want some padding here, that is why I've just given it. Otherwise by default it was 16 pixel probably, or 24 pixel it might be. I don't know, I have to check it out. And on the right side or on the end side, actually I don't want to pass any padding. That is why I've just removed it. Okay, then the next thing, I'll work around with this iron label. So for the iron label, look at this, what have I done? I'm just passing the font size and font width for the iron text and changing it up as per the requirement. Look at this, is smaller, still visible, and it's quite good. Okay, so I'm happy with that. What's the next stuff? Next part is actually very important. This is the part, description part, and I'm going to fix that to one line. You can change it to two lines also if you want to, but I want to fix it to one line only. And for that, within the iron label, I will have my p tag where there is a class called DESC in which I'm going to pass this particular design. Font size 0.75 rem, little smaller. Then I pass the color to be medium so that it is slightly faded color. Okay, and along with that, I've just wrapped everything within a box design, displays box, and making all the and fixing it to one line, which can be achieved with the help of WebKit line clamp. You can use line clamp also, but for Safari and other browsers it works pretty fine with this particular CSS. Okay, so this is the stuff which you can work with, and to show the three dots you have to use text overflow to be ellipsis, and anything which is overflowing then just simply hide it. So these are the stuff which you need to do to fix it to one line. If you just pass here 2, it will be fixed to 2 lines. Just look at it, 2 lines will be there that it will be showing up. So that is how it works. All right, great. Now let me fix it to one line only, and it's fine. Okay, so this is done. What's next? Well, next is this particular pricing part. I want some spacing from the top, which I've done here also for this p tag, which is 5 pixel, but I want a bit more. and I want to make this size bigger. Okay, the font size will be bigger, bold also, and it should be aligned properly. For doing that, let me pass here this particular class for the iron text, font size and font weight obviously becoming bigger, and margin top of 1 rem. So this is what I have done, and look at this, it's bigger than both of this, which we can already see in the design that I have already prepared. So just look at the design and understand what exactly we have done here. All right, once that is done, the final stuff is this particular part which we need to prepare. So let's do that quickly. So I'm not explaining you the CSS part a lot. I'm just explaining you the way I want to be designed. That's what I'm explaining. I'm not explaining each and every property, which is quite simple to understand. I'm quite sure you already know about all these things. That is why you're going ahead with the other stuff, the important part. Let's move ahead and start working with the iron item. And after the iron label, we also have a button where I'm passing the height and width to be fixed to 2 rem and the font size of 1.125 rem. I think we don't have a variable for it. Let me just check it to be confirmed. Otherwise, I'm going to change that to the particular variable size 1.25. It's not 1.125, so it's fine. Well, you can create a variable also if you want to, but I'm just using it once, so it's pretty fine for me to directly pass it in this particular manner, which I'm doing right now. So this is fine, and the color I've changed it to primary color. Along with that, align self to be end, so it will be slotting itself towards the end. That is why it is coming here. Otherwise, if I just remove it, it will be centered up. Look at this is centered up. You can place it at the top also by placing align self to be start, but I don't want it. This is the design which I want, and it's quite easy to achieve that right now. So far everything is perfect. I have not given any border radius or something. I've just given shape to be round. It will work in most of the cases because I've fixed the height and width. That is was most important. So this design is ready, and I'm going to use the same design for my popular models also. Let me go to the home screen. Where is it? This is the one. So I'm going to just replicate that for the other stuff, but let me first check it. Look at this. Wow, it's looking lovely, right? Great. Awesome. So this is my recent viewed list. Let me minimize this particular list, and then I'm going to have another list for the popular models. This is the one popular car list. Same way, just the stuff is changed, means the heading and everything is changed. Later everything is fine, same. And here I'm just passing the car function, means the car information signal information which we are already fetching it up. Then car template, which is for this particular template which I prepared, and view all the same stuff only, just changing the values. 1.6 it's also same, and this one is also, everything is same, fine. Just changing the names here. Car template, view all car template. Okay, earlier it was RC template. So just the names are being changed, because if you give the same name, it's going to create trouble for you. It's going to overlap. So don't do that. Keep different names, and just see now you get all the information, and you get an extra car here, which was not in the recently viewed one. Okay, so this is also done. Now in between we need two more designs. One is for the brand and the other one is for the banner. Let's achieve that. So I'm going to just start from here itself. Let's check the design now. So let me just prepare this banner, because this is just one single banner which I need to prepare. Let's go for it quickly. So what exactly I need to do? I need to prepare a banner, basically car design I need to prepare. Where is it? Yeah, car design I need to prepare, and need to pass some stuff within there, like the label, the p tag within the iron card content. I can definitely pass it up, and I will also have an image. Now how I'm going to place the image behind the text, that's a quite interesting thing which I'm going to show you up with the CSS. But let me first design this up. For doing so, let me just pass it directly, which is quite simple. So I will have the banner data, which will be an array list, but for the time being, since we are showing only one, so I'm just getting the 0th value. Okay, it's going to return only one value. So when it is returning only one value, I'm going to fetch that up, and I'm going to check if this value exists. Then I'm going to go ahead and prepare a card content, iron label, p tag within that, and an image. So this is ready. Now you see iron label, within that a p tag, and within which, after which we have the image. So this is how it is designed so far. Well, I have given a class to it, featured banner, with which we are going to work now. Let's go to our SCSS file and start working with it. So where I'm going to start off? Well, let me start with iron card, in which I've given a class called featured banner, in which I'm going to pass a grading color. So this is a grading color which I'm going to pass, where I'm going to take the primary color and the primary shade color. So now the background color is being passed, and after passing the background color, I will work around with the iron card content. Will align also, but first of all, let's just see if everything is working fine or not. So the color which I'm going to pass will be, let's say, triple F, or you can pass primary contrast, so whichever white color you want to pass. But let me do that. So now this is visible. Now within this, I'm going to design or define the font size and font weight for all of it. So let me just check the design where we have, this is little bold, okay, but this is fine, but the visibility is little less, so we can go for an opacity also here. Let me show you what am I talking about. I'll pass iron label font size and font weight from there itself, making it bold and bigger. Along with that, the font size for the p tag will be little smaller. That is around how much? I think 0.875 rem, that is 14 pixels, and opacity of 0.9, little lesser opacity, so it becomes little transparent, okay, very less, and given some margin also on all sides, basically on top and bottom, on left and right 0. So that's what it's been prepared, and that is how this stuff is ready, which is almost similar, right? Which is great. You've understood what exactly we are doing here. See, we need to pass margin on top and bottom so that we have some spacing all around. That is why I've done that. You can just remove the bottom margin if you don't want that, but I want to give it. Okay, after working with that, we also need to work around, which is the main part, that is with the image. Now for the image, I'll make the position to be absolute and top 0, right 0, because it needs to be aligned towards the right side, along with a width of 50% width, not more than that. So it is taking 50% width, which is great. Along with that, it should take the complete height. That's what I'm saying. Then object fit will be, let's say, cover. Okay. Now, here comes the interesting part. I'll give the opacity to be 0.2. Okay, now let's check it out. What happens? Just look at it. It's working. After giving the opacity to be 2, I also want to work with the Z index. So Z index, I'll give -1. So it will be just passing behind the text or whatever we are passing. Okay, so this, without that also it's working fine, but still I want to give the Z index here. Still the design is not the same that we can see here, right? We need to do something more. Let's work on that. Well, I'll just scroll towards the top, start working with the iron card a bit more. For the iron card, I will just fix the height first. Height of 10 rem. Then a border radius of 0.75 rem. If you want to give it in percentage, definitely you can. Then some margin at the top. Nowhere else I want a margin. That's what I've fixed here for the iron card. So once that is done, in the iron card content also, let's look at this. This is very, very important because we have some margin at the top, okay, which is great, and nowhere else. So I hope you have understood this particular part. Let's move ahead and show you some more stuff within this iron card content. I will pass here Z index to be 1. As of now, it is at the top. But in some cases, if the design is prepared in such a way that something is overlapping, then at least you have a Z index value of 1. Make sure you pass the highest value so that the iron content data shows up at the very top. Okay, iron card content data, sorry. Yeah, got it? Now, whenever you're making something absolute, make sure you're passing position to be relative everywhere on the parent component. So if I don't pass it up, just look at it. There is no change as such, but in some cases, it might just move away. So it's better to pass position to be relative in most of the cases. In fact, you can pass it on the iron card also if you want to. But I think the image is present within the, where it is present. Let me just check it out. We have passed the image within the iron card content. So I think, so this is the parent element and this needs to be relative so that it stays within this particular component only, or the proper element only. It should not go beyond that. That is why it's important. Anyways, that's how we relate. That is why this position layout is very, very important. Anyways, this is done and we have got our design ready. Now we are into the end game. We just need to prepare one more thing, which is the brand item. Let me create a component for it. Ionic GC component within the components folder, and I'm going to name it as brand item. Let's enter. And this is created. Once that is created, we are going to start working with it. But first of all, let me just go to the HTML and prepare my list the way we have done earlier also in the recent view list and everything. I'm going to prepare in the same way here also after this featured banner. So let me just show you quickly. Look at this. This is the brand list where we have an iron list, and a list header will be there where I'm just passing the name and button icon, which is very, very important. So the button icon is also there, which will show up if it is not available. It will be imported, or if not imported, we will import it up. Don't need to worry. Then the button color which is being passed, and the horizontal list is a similar way where we are just changing the slides per view, and the space between is being changed along with the item template which we are passing. So this template is redirecting here, okay, and we are getting the item out of it. Now, in this case, I'll just import the brand item component. In a similar way, we just need to design that up and everything will work as expected. Okay. So you have understood how easily I'm just copying and pasting stuff to achieve the same design everywhere. Okay. Just the inner design will be a little different, which we are going to design it in our new component, which we have created. Rest, everything will be same. So let's go to our brand item and start working with that. First of all, with the TS file, because there was one warning which we are getting. We need to fix that. So I'm going to have two things. One is the brand, and this will be, both of them will be read only. So let me just pass read only here also. All right, great. Input signal will be imported, and this will be a boolean value, and this will be of type any, which I have given, but actually it won't be of type any. It will be brand, type brand. Okay, great, done. What about the car? I think I have given the type there also. Possibly, yes, I gave it. Great. So far so good, only the HTML part is left. Let's design that up. For the time being, if you just see here, we are able to see the design working, right? So I need to just change it a bit. First of all, I'm going to prepare the iron card with some padding on all sides. And this is not getting imported. Again, you have to do the same stuff. Pass the imports and do pass the iron card here for the first time, as it is not getting imported automatically. Now it's going to start doing that. Here, I'm going to start off again with the is view all false or true. So first of all, I'm going to check for if it is false, then I'm going to show a different design. Otherwise, I'm going to show the app view all card design. Okay. And if you want, you can pass a route also. Let me call it brand here. Okay. Now this should be imported. What's wrong? Okay, now it's fine. Great. This is done. If you check it here, you will be able to see view all coming up. Not exactly what we need because we haven't designed the card yet, which we're going to do now. Let me check the car item also if I pass the route or not. Well, I have not passed any default route. I can do it here also. Well, this routes may not be available at this point, but still you can simply pass it. Now here I am doing in such a way. Where is it? Just look at it. Just the array and the route is being passed here. You can do it in the same manner here too. Just change it to, let's say, cars. That's it. Okay, this is done. Let's go to the HTML. We have everything running, but I'm going to prepare the design for the card at first. So for the card, I'm going to set the width and height with 100% height, 9 rem, little smaller than what we have here. Then border radius of 1 rem, which we have given everyone mostly, and the margin, if there is any, it will be set to 0. And finally, a box shadow will be given. That will give you the proper look and feel. So this is ready. Now you will see the button showing up properly. If you want, you can make the button smaller or however you want to, but it's fine. It's taking the complete size properly. Okay, so this is ready. Now we need to have some data within the if condition also, so that we can see some design there too. Now things to remember. What exactly design do we need here? Just look at this particular design. We need to prepare this thing where we have the icon, and before the icon we have a background, and this is like a badge. So we are going to use iron avatar this time because that will give a circular look and feel, and then we will use this for badge. Iron badge we are going to use to achieve this design, and this can be done easily with the help of iron label and p tag, of course. We'll look into that, but the whole design part is within a column direction. Means the flex direction is column. That's how it's being designed, and we are going to achieve that with the help of iron column. So let's do that. I'm going to prepare an iron column where I'm going to have an iron avatar, within which I will have an iron badge. So within the iron badge, I pass the color to be dark and aligning everything to center vertically and horizontally. I need to do the same in my iron column also. And for the iron avatar, I'll set everything to be centered up horizontally. So iron text center, whatever you're passing here will be centered up. So these things are done, but still it's not going to work until and unless I give the display to be flex, and flex direction should be column. That is very, very important. Otherwise, these things have no meaning. Now here you will have the card count, just like the one you can see here. Badge is showing up and the card count is showing up, but I need to show the images also. So within the Ion avatar, after this badge, I will have an IMG tag where I'm going to pass the brand logo along with an alternative text if you want any. Okay, now you can see something is showing up, which is great. After the Ion avatar, well, I'll simply have an Ion label. You can pass a P tag, or I'm passing in this case a div, which is completely fine. Okay, just showing the name, and if there is any increment, means how many more cards to be added, whatever, you can simply pass it here. So the data that we had, we are preparing the stuff in the same way. Once that is ready, we need to design it up because it's looking quite ugly. Everything is just overlapping on one another. That's not good. So to make it ideal, I need to work around, but let's check it first. Okay, rest of the stuff is ready. Just need to work around with this particular design, and then we are going to, like, we are just almost there. So first of all, like I said earlier, for the Ion column, I'm going to make the flex direction to be column and display to be flex, of course. So doing that will center up everything properly. Okay, everything is centered up in vertical manner. Now the next thing which I need to work around with the Ion avatar within the Ion column. So I'm going to make the position to be relative because I will make this Ion avatar to be taking the position to be absolute, not the Ion avatar, sorry, the Ion badge to be positioning absolute, and I want it to be revolving around the Ion avatar. That is why the position relative for the Ion avatar is utmost important with the height and width which I have just passed. Okay, that is complementary to make it smaller and giving a border radius of 50%. Okay, so this is what I have prepared, and I'm going to make the image more smaller. Okay, also background for the Ion avatar also we can pass. I think we already have some background, or if not, I'm just going to pass it. Let me just check it here. Do we have a background for the Ion avatar? Not really. We'll work on that. Let's go to our CSS and start with the image part. So within the Ion avatar, this is my image taking the 50% width and object fit contain, which is fine. Now we need to give the background color to it. So the background color which I'm going to pass for the Ion avatar is this particular one, radial gradient color I have passed. Okay, which is fine, but things are not working as expected because this is still within the Ion avatar. I want to make position to be absolute here. But before jumping to that, I want to make this background little blurry, okay, to give the glass effect. And for that, I'm going to use backdrop filter with a box shadow of this particular color and aligning all the content vertically to center. Okay, so now everything is properly available. Just check it out and giving some blurry feeling, which is great. Once that is achieved, image is also done, everything is good to go. Just need to work around with the badge part now. So for the badge, as I have already explained, what am I going to do? I'm going to pass the position to be absolute. From the top, -8 pixels will be fine. From the top means little bit more at the top, otherwise it will be just near to this particular part, which I don't want. From the right side, just have pinpoint to 15 pixels in negative directions so that it moves a little bit more towards the right side. That's what I have done to just place it at the particular position, and it will be same throughout the size, means whichever device you use it, because we have given position to be relative here. If I don't pass position to be relative, it's going to move around. Okay, and it's not going to hold to this particular parent element. So that's what happens if I just show you up. How do I show you up? Go to responsive, and still it's there. Okay, it's still there. Why it's not taking it up? It should have taken. I think changes are not getting reflected. Don't need to worry. Well, it should be the case. So you just check it out. For the timing, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in explaining this stuff. So let me just change it to position to be relative again. And you have understood, right, why I'm doing that? Because I don't want it to move outside of this particular element. That is why I've done that. That's it. Just the height and width of this particular badge, I've just changed it to particular size, and then display flex is being given so that the text within that will be centered up properly in horizontally and vertically direction. Now the color of the text I've changed a bit, and font size also I've changed. So just the basic stuff which I have done. The most important part is these three things, and the rest is just the complementary stuff which I have done to align everything properly. So this is the stuff which we have done here to achieve this design, but it's not yet over because we need to design the other stuff in the similar fashion which we have here. Where was the image? There you go. There is a lot of spacing here. So we need to work around with it, which is quite simple actually. So I need to get out of the iron avatar. First of all, let me just scroll towards the top, minimize this iron avatar. And after the iron avatar, I need to work around with the iron label and increment class. So iron label, font size change, font weight change, and from the top I've given some margin to have one REM margin. So from the top there is some margin I've given, and for the increment also margin top is being passed of 50% than the iron label from this particular iron avatar. Okay, and font width, font size, same stuff only, and the color is being changed. So these are the basic things which I've changed and to achieve this design. And now look at it, it's looking too cool. So this is what you need to do. Now the color, for the color I've given the primary color but made the uh, opacity to be little different, and that's how it's looking little faded, but it's looking nice. So we have achieved this particular design of the car selling screen, home screen basically. And you have seen what all things we have gone through. We have made our widgets in such a way, making the data more dynamic. Everything is great to work with. So do let me know in the comment section how you are liking this particular video. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give your comments how you are liking this particular video, which will help me to make more such videos for you guys. Okay. Last but not the least, if you haven't checked our website yet, do check that out. Visit that, check the contents that are available. If you want anything to be purchased, definitely go for it. It will help you to learn more and more and build bigger products. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you next time.